you very much for that stunning introduction. Yes, it is going to be about fangirling, but as Jake said, it's after the watershed. We've all had a couple of drinks, I know I have, so I think we're ready to get dangerous. Although I would say, yeah, we are going to be discussing some not safe for work topics, but I will be discussing them in a safe for work way. I can assure you nobody is more disappointed about that than I am. I want it to be like, I want it to be like, careful, the first few rows may get wet. But I can't make that joke now, because you told me I had to keep it safe. Did just make the joke. There is one image in here that is maybe a bit close to the knuckle, but no knuckles are actually like shown. or inserted anywhere. So you may be wondering why Jake is allowed clearly obnoxious and what appears to be in some respects a very lazy Harley Quinn cosplayer to come and shout at you. Very briefly, my name is Asper. I'm just going to get this out of the way, because we were all thinking it. I'm a freelance game journalist, but crucially, I don't make that much money doing it. So please tell all your friends about me. I'm on Twitter, so please hit me up. I'm very friendly. I love making new friends. Some of you here know this already. I'm also on Tumblr, which is where I dump a load of poorly edited words and trash for people to read. And this becomes relevant later in the talk. And I'm a fangirl, which is kind of a maligned term. You could be a fanboy as well, although I've mostly heard that in response to dudes that really love JRPGs. I don't know why. But you can just be a fan as well. But there are certain connotations these days to being that. I like to think it just means that you're really enthusiastic about the things you love. I would be a mac and cheese fangirl, for example. And also video games I'm very enthusiastic about, including Dragon Age! There are going to be some images, and I have attributed all of them in the bottom left corner there, but I would say, if you follow any of those links, I don't know what the fuck you're going to see. So just bear that in mind. Someone in particular did want me to warn you that there may be things of a ball gaggy nature. So we'll just we'll keep that safe for you to consider. So yeah, I went to London Comic Con this year, which was great. And when I was there, I saw these two. You will not get the joke if you haven't played Dragon Age 2, but I thought it was hilarious. And I took a picture of them, and I put it up on my Tumblr, and they found it. These guys found the picture that I put up. So I was like, oh cool, follow them. And they post a lot of stuff about Dragon Age, and are really active in the Dragon Age fandom. And one of the things that they do very extensively is shipping. Yeah, some of you know where we're going with this. So shipping is the part of fangirling that I'm going to talk about tonight. It's kind of high-end form of it. Does anyone, hands up, who doesn't know what it is?
I kind of know, I just wanted to
poor sweet summer child. So I was already aware of shipping as a thing. Is anyone like a fan of Hobbit or Lord of the Rings? Don't look up Durincest, because it's a thing. If you're not a fan, still look it up, because it can be quite entertaining. There's one where like it's an alternate universe crossover where they're all on the Starship Enterprise, but like still all having sex with each other. So when I pitched this to Jake, I was like, this is really, actually, it's a really interesting, like, really intellectual thing to talk about. So I did a survey because I wanted to know a little bit more about what people shipped in the Dragon Age. I brought it down to just a Dragon Age fandom because I thought shipping in general was kind of too broad. So I did run a survey. I got 371 responses in the end, which is quite a lot, and I think it's about 3 times more than L'Oreal use when they go 8 out of 10 women said it gave them a shiny coat. So I think it's pretty legitimate. So first of all, I wanted to know who are the people doing this and spending all their time for free, because loads of them have like full-time jobs and shit that they got to get done, and then their spare time they just do this. It's overwhelmingly young people. So you're possibly even younger than 18 to 24, because the survey I used, it didn't let me have a lower default than that. Huge representation of the LGBTQ community. The slim majority are bisexuals, and then the second biggest group is straight people. And then what I found most interesting, it's all chicks. Yeah! It's all ladies, and I was like, what is there possibly about the Dragon Age fandom that could interest you? What is it? I don't know. Number two, I wanted to know what it was that they were shipping in particular, like what they prefer and what they like. They like to mix it up, so they have both canon and non-canon pairings they like doing. So canon would be if they get it on in the game, then that's a canon pairing. This I find, like, if you don't find this interesting, then you clearly don't share the same unhealthy interest in people's sexual predilections that I do. But, even though we had like a 25% lump sum, I would say, of straight people, only like less than 6% of people ship heteronormative relationships. Like consistently, that's all they do. Most people are into doing like all kinds of stuff, and a huge, like a quarter, just do gay relationships. That's all they're interested in. They just want dudes getting it on. Which I think is very interesting. This, I like, you might not want to look at it, but you're gonna, because it took me ages. This is a word cloud of everyone's favourite ships. The biggest one there is Solar Bella. This is my favourite thing, by the way, about shipping, is that the pairings have names that are portmanteaus made by smashing the two characters' names together, whether or not it works. So, Solar Bella is Solus, who's a character in Dragon Age Inquisition, and Llewellyn, which is the name of your player character if you're an elf. We've got Fenders, which is the one that Elsie and Nikea ship, which is Fenris and Anders from the second game. My favourite portmanteau is Adorable, which is Dorian and the Iron Bull from the second game. Isn't that I know! Oh. And then the last thing I asked extra to this is whether you like porn, basically, or feels. And they like both. They like the raunchy sex, but with emotions too, you know. They want to have like relationships as they are maybe in the real world, where you have sex, but also, you know, there's a complex thing around it as well. So, lastly, and sort of most importantly, I asked why. Why do you do this? Why, and why the Dragon Age fandom as well? These are some of the answers I got that I thought were kind of funny. The person that put Alistair, they put Alistair for every answer. I had to do this up, but gross bit is French slang for big dick. And then the last one, somebody they literally wrote like 200 words on their player characters and how they interact and how they wanted their two player characters to be like Eskimo brothers and stuff. And then just at the end they just put, also, hi Alice. So I'm going to find you. But so let's break it down a little bit, come with me if you will. What came up most often when I asked why do you do this is the characters themselves. The characters in Dragon Age, they're, being an RPG, they're very well drawn. A lot of people kept saying was like dynamic, you know, really fleshed out. So that makes it easier then to transport them into your fan fiction, your fan art, to make more stuff with them. They said they wanted flawed characters because then that makes them more relatable. And they like putting the characters that they love in new situations and new things that they imagine them. And what would it be like if I transport my favourite character to, you know, a situation they would normally be in? Elsie and Nikea, when I spoke to them, because I did, they're lovely girls. They said that they like, you know, when you read like a book or film or play a video game that you really love, when it finishes you get that feeling of, oh, it's over now. Shipping, they say, kind of, for them, lets them extend that experience, so they don't feel like it's over, they get to spend more time with these characters that they love. Let's move on to the aspect of the, well, I've got in my notes, I put the super gay stuff. So, in Japan, there's a kind of anime manga called, I'm going to say a lot of it, it's yaoi. which is also called Boy Love, or BL for short, which is just anime manga about dudes getting it on. And it's overwhelmingly, the fans of that are women. Overwhelmingly, and they have a special name as well, which I think is great. They're called Fujoshi, which means rotten girl, which I think is fantastic. I'd love to be a rotten girl. Many would say I already am. But it's it's discussed a lot. Why is it women that are drawn to this? And one of the things that comes up is that actually it kind of frees you from the ideas of, or the predetermined ideas of how you're supposed to behave in a relationship, in a heteronormative relationship. Like the man is supposed to be the strong guy and the kind of aggressive one, and the woman is the more emotional, more receptive one. When you're putting together, two people of the same gender, those roles aren't there anymore, and it's just exploring relationships and sexuality. The kind of slightly raunchy pictures coming out now, so like hold on to your butts, or at least someone's butt. So this is Fender's, so Fenris and Anders' drawing that was actually inspired by something that I believe Akeba wrote, because they do get pretty explicit. They, both Elsie and Akeba started shipping when they were, I think 12, 13. I don't think that's an accident. It's when you start exploring sexuality and start becoming aware of it. And many people said, well, yeah, loads of people referenced the LGBTQ representation in the games. And more than one person used these exact words. They said, I can be gay. That's my drops mic. That's what draws into Dragon Age. And representation is important in games, guys. I think that's what we can take away from this. BioWare are pretty good, or at least getting better at representation in their video games. Inquisition in particular has a trans character, and everyone else is just like, oh cool. Like in the game, it's just like, yeah, he's cool. They have representation of BDSM in a safe and healthy and completely consensual environment. And they have a bunch of gay characters as well. But that representation people are trying to take away. There are mods where you can make Dorian, who's a gay character, and Inquisition straight. Which doesn't make any sense to me because his entire backstory is based on video. But Akeba, who is a bisexual woman, she said she actually started shipping, I think, in the Kingdom Hearts fandom when she was about 12, 13. She said she realized that something was missing. She wasn't sure what it was, but what she wanted was being hinted at, she felt, with the game, but not actually shown. Whereas in Dragon Age, you can be gay. You can, have a romance with a woman, you can have a romance with a dude. And it's, allowing that representation that people want. And there is a need for it, I think, in shipping shows. Like, there's a kind of, some people think like, that as games get more progressive, we're trying to take out the sex and violence and stuff. I don't know about the violence, but I think it's pretty clear that everyone wants to be able to have sex in a video game. Just want to be able to have sex how they want to have sex. And what's wrong with that? Finally, I'm going to talk about the kind of creative aspect of shipping. So Elsie does drawings. She does for her shipping and the fanfiction fan art she does. It's kind of like when you're younger and you're copying stuff and you're copying things that have already been drawn and kind of learning how to do what you want to do. So with these games, because they're so fleshed out, you can. It's much easier to then work on your own writing skills and work on your own drawing skills because they're already there. And there's also a lot of collaboration. So people encourage each other, they have big conversations about their favourite couplings and their favourite shipping and stuff. Another slightly raunchy image coming up. This is from a pirate alternate universe fanfiction where Cullen is he is like the naive son of a nobleman. He goes to travel the seas and he gets captured by a pirate version of Samson, who is the bad guy in Inquisition, and swashes are buckled. It's actually a collaboration between several artists and writers, and they've done a huge thing. This is also based on. This is also based on something that Akaiba wrote, I believe. where Fenris gets Anders pregnant, and they have a baby. This other completely separate artist drew what they thought that would be like, which is like kind of funny when you're kind of laughing at it, but also it's again exploring heteronormative roles from a different viewpoint, right? And this is all like, it's a huge, like, I didn't realize how big this was as part of the fandom, but like, I think RPGs have it more than anything else. Like, you don't see like COD fan fictions where like Soap and Captain Price both reach for an AK at the same time. Like their grizzled hands touch and then their eyes meet and bouncing upstairs. You don't get that really. But I really encourage you to look into the fandom because there's loads and loads of stuff. Even if you're not into all of it, there's like serious art, there's funny little like caricatures and cartoons. There's reimaginings, this is my favourite one coming up. Boom, look at that. How is that not fantastic? There's even, this is like, there's a guy that answers, he set up a blog where he answers asks in character as Cole, the spirit. He does that in his free time. This person, they're trying to romance Solus, and they keep getting interrupted by a wyvern that eats their inquisitor during the cutscene and kills them, and they have to restart the game. They can't get through the romance. But the fandom has now given this wyvern a name. And he has his own fan art. So I guess what I'm saying is that this is part of video games now. It's a huge part of it, because you know, like a minute ago where I made that joke about how no one would ever do fan fiction to do Call of Duty. Oh boy, you all laughed. So, like it or not, you don't have to like it, you don't have to read any of it, but you might as well accept it, because even if you don't, these people are going to be there and they will be taking it into their own hands, and you know when I say that, I mean it, like, you know. Thank you so much for listening, thank you so much, Jake.